Hey you guys, it's Peter, and welcome to my channel, Peter Watches TV, where I watch all the TV shows. I watch the true crime, I watch the reality shows, I watch all the housewives, I watch all the reality shows, I watch the housewives, I watch Survivor, I watch the Golden Bachelorette, I watch Big Brother, I watch Secret Lives of Mormon Wives, I've already done 2 videos on that, I watch all the true crime, and I watch all the trending shows on Netflix and Apple and Paramount and Peacock and Shudder, and I watch Dragula on Shudder last night. I watch all the shows, so if you'd like to talk about TV, please come over here and hang out with me. Subscribe to my channel, and we are just going to hang out and have so much fun. I'm having such a blast on this channel so far, and for all of you that have already subscribed to this channel, I just want to say thank you so much. For all of you that hang out and comment on the shows that you have seen, and for those of you out there that say, I've never seen any of these shows that you talked about, but I just love hearing you talk and get excited about TV shows, thank you so much. I appreciate it. I'm having such a blast over here. You know, when I originally started this channel, I started it just, I was going to cover like reality drama and whatever, and it just kind of morphed into just me watching TV shows and doing reactions, which is what I love. I love to watch TV shows and talk about them. I have so much fun, you know, talking to my friends on the phone and be like, oh my God, did you see this? And oh my God, did you see that? My best friend and I the other night, we were like talking on the phone because she texted me and she was like, oh my God, best movie. And she texted me like Caddo Lake, which I had just done my reaction to over here. I hated Caddo Lake. And I was like, really? I was like, it was horrible. And she was like, oh my God, I loved it. It was so good. And I was like, have you seen Dark? Because it's basically just Dark shoved into a movie. And so we had this conversation about it. And this is the thing about TV, right? Like we can all have like our different opinions about it, have conversations. People point stuff out to me all the time. I'm like, you know what? Like I never really saw it that way. Or, oh my God, I didn't think of it that way. Or, oh yeah, like maybe it's not as good as I thought it was. And so I love talking about TV. And today I want to talk about the new streaming show that just came out called Hysteria. It came out on Peacock. I believe it is, I think it's, last time I got this wrong, I think it's 8 episodes, but I could be wrong. Is it 8 episodes or 10 episodes? I don't know. But anyway, the show Hysteria just came out on October 18th, and it is starring Bruce Campbell, Julie Bowen, Anna Camp, and it is so good, you guys. It is really, really good. Now, I will tell you, it's not what I thought it would be at all. So, I knew that it was about satanic panic, but I thought it was going to be more of like, the way it starts, it seems like it's more of like a mystery thriller, and it's not so much. I mean, it is. It has a mystery thriller aspect to it. But it kind of unfolds as the show goes. So like as you're watching it, and I am going to spoil it today, so if you don't want the show spoiled and you want to watch it, I'll just tell you right now, come back to this video after you've watched the show. It is really well done. I wouldn't say, on a scale of 1 to 10, I probably would give it like a 7.5, which is pretty high for over here. I thought it was good. I thought it was a really fun watch. If there's a season 2, I will definitely watch it. I thought it, like my husband said, oh, it's kind of like cute scary. I didn't think it was like the best show in the entire world, but I definitely didn't think it was the worst show. It was like really kept me entertained. I really enjoyed watching it through the weekend. Maybe I give it, I don't know that I give it an 8 out of 10. I give it a 7.5 out of 10. There were a lot of things with it that I just, you know, so it takes place in 1989. I graduated in 1990. I felt a lot of things like the fashion, just kind of some of the looks, some of the staging of it, the styling of it didn't really match 1990. I've seen a lot of shows that have like done the late 80s like fantastically. I feel like they attempted to do it, but it felt to me like stylistically it was done. I will say this, it has very much the vibes of Stranger Things, but like how Stranger Things is kind of like a retrospective that gets it, like it does all the pop culture references fantastically. This kind of missed the mark. Like, if Stranger Things is like a 10 out of 10 with pop culture references, I would say this is like a 4 out of 10. The hairdos are kind of, some of the hairdos, some of the clothes are kind of, but like, I kept on asking myself, like, when did this take place? Is this supposed to be like the late 70s, the late 80s, the late 90s? Like, I'm really confused about this. And, you know, I said this on my vlog, and a lot of people were like, oh no, I remember it. I don't remember really satanic panic. I grew up in Indianapolis. The show takes place in Michigan. Detroit! Rock City! Right outside Detroit. I do not really remember the satanic panic. Or, I mean, I had friends of mine that were like in heavy metal bands in high school, like they are in this one. I don't really remember like parents being like, oh no, and I mean, I remember church being like a really big thing to a lot of people, not necessarily to me. But I remember it was a really big thing. I mean, I was very alternative, very punk rock in high school, listened to like the Smiths, The Cure, the, you know, Social Distortion, Sex Pistols, Susie and the Banshees. So that music was I can remember people looking at us in high school and we had those t-shirts on of Robert Smith and the Cure and being like, y'all are a bunch of freaks and weirdos. But I don't remember the Satanic Panic thing. When I said that, a lot of people were like, oh, it came out later in the 90s, or it was also like in like southern towns and things like that. People were saying like South, Kentucky and southern towns, small towns is where it more happened. I just don't remember it very much. I thought Satanic Panic, and I actually thought this show was going to take place like in the late 70s. And somebody commented on this on my vlog, and I was like, yeah, I agree. Was really about like the whole Charles Manson thing. So when it was talking about Satanic Panic in relation to like the late 80s in a small town, I don't know. For me, it just... So what it's about is it's about these two kids that are kidnapped at the beginning of the show. And you don't really know where they're kidnapped by or who they're kidnapped by. And then these other three kids are in this... So when the kids are kidnapped, the guy that's kidnapped, they put up a satanic symbol on his, a pentagram on his garage door. So then they think that a satanic cult has kidnapped the two kids. You find out over the course of the episodes what's happened with the two kids. But there's this band of these three kids that are kind of like, they never feel like they're seen. They feel like they're kind of losers a little bit. And they're in this heavy metal band, which incidentally, I think the girl has a fantastic voice. I love her singing. I love the band. I texted my friend Nikki. We were watching at the same time. And I was like, I really like the music. Their music was fantastic. I thought of that. I'm not a big heavy metal person, but it didn't really even sound like kind of heavy metal to me. I mean, it was so funny because they were talking about Metallica in the show. And I'm like, I do remember the first time that I heard, Enter Sandman, Enter Night, off to Never, Neverland. And I remember all that stuff back in the day. But it was funny because I did relate to their characters as these characters that were kind of on the fringe. They weren't popular. They were on the outside. And so they turned this heavy metal band basically into this satanic cult because they were going to get a lot of attention for that if they did. And then a lot of people were going to watch them for that. So let me read you the synopsis about this story. Set during the famous Satanic Panic of the late 1980s, Hysteria kicks off with the disappearance of a star varsity quarterback, prompting suspicion of darker forces at work. Hoping to capitalize on their town's sudden interest in the occult, a struggling heavy metal band rebrands itself as satanic, with disastrous results because everybody blames them for it. By associating themselves with the supernatural, the musicians inadvertently become prime suspects in a string of murders, kidnappings, and bizarre phenomenon, triggering a leather-studded witch hunt that leads directly back to them. Now, when my husband started watching this, he's like, is this like a comedy? Because there are funny moments in it, but it's not a comedy. It's like a teen show, but it feels like it's a teen show made for adults. Like, I feel like to get a lot of the themes, you would have to have like been like a lived experience, of an adult and things like that. It's an interesting show. The reason why I say, and I'm kind of like now I don't want to spoil too much of it, and so I probably won't, but the reason why I say it's a mystery thriller, but it's not, is because there's so many things that come out through the course of watching it. Like, you're like, are they really in a satanic cult? Are they not? Then these people are starting a satanic cult, but is theirs real or is theirs fake? You don't really ever know the truth of the whole satanic cult thing, right? And then the whole town is like in speculation that these two kids, so the one girl who is the daughter of the like most devout Christian in town that runs these church groups and stuff like that, she's one of them that is kidnapped. The guy that she's like, I don't even know if he's her boyfriend, just the guy that she's like screwing, that she can't let her mom know, he's kidnapped as well. And then you find out later that he was murdered. And so it's like this crusade of her mother, who's like the ultimate Christian in this town, to take down the Satanists in town. And like, it's basically focused on these three kids because she feels like she can bring everybody back to the church. I'm like really writing this line between like spoiling the whole show or not. So I'm thinking I'm not, but she rides this like, she wants to bring all these people to the church, okay? But she's got her own backstory as well of how she even got involved in the church and how she became like this most devout person. It's really, really well done. I mean, it's multi-layered. Who's the guy that plays the police officer, the main character, Bruce Campbell? Bruce Campbell is fantastic in it. He was in the Evil Dead movies back in the day. He is so good in it. And he is like a tie to, his granddaughter is the most popular girl in school that also has a tie to some of these like these cults. You guys, it is so good. It's so well done. I mean, like I said, it's not like a show that like 10 years from now I'll be like, oh my God, I was profoundly changed by that show, but it's really, really good. It gave me very, I mean, I'm like waiting the 5 years for the next Stranger Things to come out. It gives me very much Stranger Things vibes. So I would highly recommend this show. If you're wanting to look for something spooky season, I think this is a really great show to watch for spooky season. If you guys want me to come back and do a spoiler, I will. I don't really want to spoil it. I'm trying to kind of like give nods to things. The ending I thought was fantastically done. done. I love the ending of it. I love that it also kind of open-ended it, that it could come back and there could be a season 2. I loved that. And I loved, okay, at the very end, I will ruin this. I won't ruin it for you, but I'll just tell you. There's a moment when you think it's going to end a certain way with somebody dying at the last minute. The two clashing forces come together and she's like, oh no, you're not going to be a martyr in all of this. And it's fantastic and I love that line. I thought the show was good. I was really delighted in it. And I will say this, that I was kind of like laser focused on it. Like I would finish an episode, then I'd want to watch the next one. You know, I watch so many shows that to keep my attention, it takes a lot. I just wish there would have been a lot more pop cultural references to the late 80s. There were a few, there were posters on the wall, but I don't know, it felt to me kind of like, it was like somebody watched a show that did that, and so they tried to recreate that instead of like really doing it for themselves. I don't know, it just kind of missed the mark to me a little bit on the pop cultural references, but I thought the storyline was fantastically done. And if you're looking for something else like this, I would tell you, I didn't love the movie, but the book is so good. It's called My Best Friend's Exorcism, and it's by Grady Hendrix. And it's one of my favorite horror novels of life, and the pop cultural references in the book, not the movie, because they made a movie out of it. The movie is just okay. The book is fantastic. But the pop cultural references from the 80s are chef's kiss. Unbelievable. So anyway, did you watch Hysteria? Let me know what you thought in the comment section below. I love you guys, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye.